Hello everybody, I'm TychoCelchuuu and welcome to a, that's the pause button, welcome to a Noobcast number 2, Company of Heroes 2. In this game episode, I go through and commentate on one of the matches against the horrible people that the auto-matcher insists on matching me against. I am playing, as always, as the Russians, and my opponent as the horrific Osthair is Arcaster, and I am sorry, Arcaster, that I'm going to be mean to you, but this is how we learn from our mistakes, and you make a lot of mistakes. So, Arcaster does not make a mistake, I think, building tier 0 right off the bat as the Osthair. This will get you your Grenadiers and your machine guns, both very important units, and frankly, the Pioneers are not very good fighters, so fine for that. And you see how fast Arcaster is able to get this up. We're only 46 seconds into the game, and already that's good. You'll see me going for the fuel really quick to try and link it up. Arcaster, meanwhile, is just going for this point right outside his base. Now, what you want is for this first Pioneer, I suggest send them off somewhere where they're not going to be shot at. Or if you want to be fighty with them, send them off somewhere where you're going to want to send them reinforcements, right? Because they're only going to win a fight probably if they get reinforcements. So in this case, Arcaster is sending them off somewhere they're not going to get shot by capping these 2 points right outside of his base. But that's not a great idea because these 2 points outside of his base, he can capture any time, right? So if you're going to use your Pioneers to capture a point and you want to keep them safe, send them off into the boondocks where they're not going to get shot. So down here, and if they see enemies, they can pull back here, or up here, and if they see enemies, they can pull back here. Because these two right in front of your base, you can capture them at any point in time. So then he gets some Grenadiers and he sends them off into the Great Unknown. And here it's becoming apparent that he's making a second mistake, not rushing for one of the 2 fuel. Do that on this map, okay? You want the fuel pretty soon. The fuel is going to be good for you, and there's really no reason to get the munitions point in the middle. The only reason I was getting that is because I sort of saw that he was coming into the middle, so I decided to take this fight, and so camp out around here. And now I know I can win this fight because I have 2 conscripts here. They're going to beat 1 Grenadier. Little do I know that Arcaster is going to have 2 Grenadiers too. So I'm not really in cover. I tried to get them into cover, but I think this fire makes it very difficult for them to get into cover. He's moving up. He's getting some good kills on my conscript. I'm getting some good ones on his Grenadier, and he blinks first. Okay, it's a game of chicken. Whoever flinches first loses because he has to pull out of the fight. I get to spend these 2 conscripts. They actually don't do a hell of a lot of good for me because one of them gets killed and they run away. But the most important thing that they do is these Grenadiers had to fire at them for a while, and that let my conscripts stand here unmolested for a while, get some really good damage in all these Grenadiers. So I won that fight handily because he focus fired on my low health squad, and he had to do that because he had to force that squad to retreat. Otherwise, it would have just pumped damage into him, and he had to do that and lose that fight because he flinched first. He played chicken with his first squad of Grenadiers that he retreated back to here. So it's a very dangerous game. It's like playing a real game of chicken, not with actual chickens, but with cars. And but as in a real game of chicken, to the winner goes the person who flinches last. Unless you get unlucky, of course, and I had lost that conscript squad. I tried to retreat, so that would have sucked for me. So Arcaster taking a very leisurely route down the south with these Pioneers, capping some stuff. Nothing wrong with that, but has been forced back with 2 of his infantry squads right off the bat, so that's very damaging for him and it's hurting. Third, fourth, I don't know, whatever mistake we're on. He's, again, pushing this munitions in the beginning. Now, it's not like munitions are worthless, right? You can get a flamethrower right off the bat, and that's very helpful. But, you know, unless you're rushing the flamethrower half-track as Germans, I don't think there's any reason to focus this much on munitions. And big mistake here, this should have retreated 20 minutes ago, okay? Whenever you see 3 enemy squads clustered around one of your squads, retreat it ASAP. He was never ever going to cap this point. He was never ever going to win this fight. He was never ever going to deal more damage than he was going to take in that fight. So he lost that squad. Huge mistake there. Never lose a squad this early in the game. Do anything you can to avoid losing squads, but instead he pays for it with his blood. And now he's just doing it again. He's sending in 2 squads this time and actually managed to get to the house before me. And I make a mistake here. I hit retreat, but I should have jumped over this fence manually, then retreated, just like I jumped over the house to try and get the thing. So this I could have turned into a loss for him if I had grabbed this house first. As it stands, he's doing fairly fine in this match. You see me pulling back. I'm doing a soft retreat, sending these people probably into this building to chill for a while, and meanwhile it's going to let me cap the rest of the map. So he's focusing too much on this middle, fighting too much over the middle. He's letting me cap the entire map. I'm going very slowly with these conscripts because I'm afraid of getting them into a fight. Little do I know that he really doesn't have anything. So if I were doing this match again, these guys would be more aggressive and they'd be going for the cutoff along with their buddies here. Here, you see, I am being very aggressive though. I've got my engineers and these people here. He's OP'd this. This is another big mistake. Don't OP this munitions cache so early in the game when your opponent is beating the shit out of you. it's going to be killed, okay? And it's a waste of manpower. OPs are, I don't know if they're any good or not. I still have to decide on that. But they're certainly not good this early in the match. This early in the match, you need to be spending this manpower on your units. Another big mistake, chilling out here and getting killed by my unit down here, my unit down here. This was doing him nothing hanging out behind this car. He was accumulating a tiny bit of damage on these people, but he was never going to kill them. It would have been much better for him to either come in with these people much earlier and do a pincer move on these people. Actually, it wouldn't have been a pincer move, it would have been a normal attack, or frankly just retreat, because that fight was doing him nothing. Not retreat back to base, but retreat up here to capture some of the stuff I have in the Great White North. It would have been much better to force me to sort of deal with that sort of stuff, because it's not like he needed this point captured, like this wasn't linking him to any important stuff. So he could have afforded to let me decap that and trade it for a cap up here, because he can turn a cap up here into a cap in all of the north if I don't come up there to contest that. So always think about what sort of reactions you're going to force from your opponent by what you do. And so now he's pretty much fucked. His last hope here is to get this half track, and he's rushed the munitions enough such that he'll be able to upgrade it to flame projectors. I guess it's no longer called a Flammenwaffe, and a couple of munitions. So this is going to be his last hurrah. Hilariously enough, if we were watching from my side, we would realize I haven't researched AT grenades. I've been floating too much fuel this game because I'm an idiot. Finally getting around to building tier 2, but I haven't researched AT grenades. So this is his chance to run in with his flammin' pancake and kill everything. Kind of a mistake, I think, getting these people into this cover. It's just going to make my flamers more good. You should have either grabbed this building and then hopped out when the flamers got close to him, or at least just pull back here and maybe get in this yellow cover or something. In any case, sticking around to fight here is not working for him. He could have moved his half-track up and gotten some damage in on me. It could be over here shooting at me, and if I charged him to try and get an AT grenade, he could just back up. Instead, he chilled out in his base until he could upgrade the flamethrowers. This is better for shock and awe, right? You'll surprise your opponent if you hide your flamethrower half-track until it's got flamethrowers, but that's like never worth it, okay? You don't want it to be a surprise, you want it to be useful from the day it's built, and so he should have brought it in ASAP and started using it for fighting. So he's getting a ton of kills with his flamethrower half-track. He's up to 3 so far, and he's going to force off my 2 squads here, because, like I said, I'm an idiot who hasn't researched AT grenades. But, of course, once I see that, I'm going to very quickly rectify that. We'll swap over to me real fast, and look, AT grenades actually finished a little while ago. So now I'm like, okay, I've got this game in the bag. I just have to move out onto the map. If we look at my site, I can't see anything, although I can briefly see this. So I just have to, I'm feeling like all I have to do is move out into the map, kill his half-track, and I'll be good to go. This guy's a chump. I'm going to defeat him. Sorry, I shouldn't say chump. He's just a noob. Nothing wrong with a noob. And you notice I'm still floating a ton of manpower because I'm building tier 3 right now for my Panzer, or for my T-34s. And then the final mistake of this match, my opponent going out in a blaze of glory, perhaps knows he's lost, or perhaps, I don't know, just drives straight into my base. By now I have AT grenades, his half-track is destroyed. Never do this. Light vehicles are very weak in Company Heroes 2, they're just gonna die. He calls GG at this point, which we can't see because replays don't record chat, and that's the end of the game. I hope you learned a lot of excellent stuff. This was a really fast game, 8 minutes, 19 seconds. That's all it takes to lose against me, even though I'm shit. And so we learned a lot of good tips from this thing, and I hope you enjoyed that, and maybe I'll see you someday and crush you in Company Heroes 2 and then make a humiliating Noobcast and post on YouTube for everyone to laugh at you. But don't laugh. Everybody's new at this game, right? It's a beta. It's been out for a couple days.